Hey Redemption Gateway, welcome to today's Daily Dose. This is part 2 of a 5-part series we're calling the 5G's, and we're focusing on these characteristics of God that actually help us process through our life in a really meaningful way. They're reproducible. You can write them down, get a tattoo, whatever you want, but today is part 2, and it's all about why God is gracious. Therefore, we don't need to prove ourselves. What good news is that? It makes me think about when I was in high school. I was 18 years old, totally stupid, totally thought I wasn't stupid, and I was driving my parents' van around with 8 other guys in the back seat, and I was just kind of ripping through the neighborhood thinking I was awesome, and then I was going to drop one of my buddies off, and I slammed on the brakes, put it in reverse because I went right past his house and backed it up with my foot way too much on the gas, impressing everyone in the van, obviously, and we slammed right into the guy's fence. The fence came out of the ground, scratched up the van. I had about $117 total to my name at this time. I was working very, very part-time. It was sports season. I didn't really have a job, and I didn't know much, but I knew that that fence / the scratches on the van were going to be a whole lot more than $117 to fix. And not only that, but I knew that it was pretty much just absolute foolishness how this went down. And so I remember going home, talking to my dad, and he's ordinarily kind of a you make your bed, lie in it type of guy. You've sown your seeds, now you reap what you sow. And there's been an emphasis on personal responsibility there, but I just remember feeling shame because not only did I just do a dumb thing that's financially expensive, but I also kind of like, Trouts don't do dumb stuff. Well, now they do. So I brought shame to the family name. And I remember him getting out his checkbook, writing down the check, giving it to the Van Brunt family who I smashed their fence, and said, "Do not repay this, just receive it as grace." And then he said, "I don't care about the scratches on the van, it's worth basically nothing anyway, we're moving on, we don't need to talk about this, I love you." No opportunity to prove myself, no opportunity to make it right. And even if I wanted to prove myself, wasn't able to do it. And this is a picture of Ephesians 2, verse 8. It is by grace you have been saved, not of your own doing. It's a gift. And this picture of the way that my dad treated me in that situation is a picture to me of God's grace, graciousness. That we are sinful, we bring shame to the one who made us in his image, and he, with absolute graciousness, absorbs the cost into himself of the cost of our foolishness and our sinfulness, and says, "You don't need to pay me back, and not only do you not need to, but you're unable to, and I'm not worried about it. I just want you to be okay because you're my child." And so Redemption Gateway, how are you trying to prove yourself to God? Stop, because you can't. He's already proved it all. He's already paid it all. His graciousness means you can't add to it. You can't take away from it. You can just receive it and rest. God is gracious, so we don't need to prove ourselves.